Picture a suburban driveway at 6:30 on a rainy Tuesday morning. If you listen to automotive marketing teams, you would think every single driver in America has abandoned passenger cars to buy three-row crossovers, giant SUVs, or lifted trucks. But look closer at early morning highway traffic, and you will see two nameplates continuing to quietly dominate the daily drive: the Toyota Camry and the Honda Accord. For nearly 50 years, these two mid-size sedans have been locked in a bitter, multi-billion-dollar war for the soul of the sensible commuter. Car reviewers love to spend time arguing about track times, top speeds, and glossy touchscreen specs during short press drives. But real-world buyers aren't driving on racetracks. They buy these cars for the grueling reality of everyday life, surviving an hour-long bumper-to-bumper morning commute, dodging deep city potholes, avoiding lower back strain, loading kids into the back row, and knowing that when the odometer hits 100,000 miles, the car won't hit them with a $4,000 repair bill. On paper, the Camry and the Accord look like identical Japanese family appliances. But the moment you look at how they function in daily usage, you realize that Honda and Toyota built two completely opposite driving experiences. Which one is actually worth your hard-earned money, and which one is secretly setting you up for daily frustration? Let's break down the real-world reality. Real-life usage: seating posture, sightlines, and cabin stress. The moment you open the driver's door and get inside, the ergonomic divide between these two icons hits you instantly. The modern Honda Accord leans heavily into sleek, fastback-style European proportions. It sits noticeably low to the asphalt. If you are an enthusiast driver who loves the feeling of sitting down in a low, sporty executive cockpit, the Accord feels athletic and upscale. In real-world daily usage, that low seating position comes with a physical tax. Every single morning, you aren't just stepping into the car, you are dropping down into the cabin. If you suffer from lower back tightness, knee soreness, or if you are constantly loading toddlers into child safety seats, that low hip point becomes a daily physical annoyance. Furthermore, the Accord's sweeping rear roofline cuts into rear door aperture height. When tall adult passengers or teenagers get into the back row, they have to duck their heads significantly to clear the roof pillar. The Toyota Camry takes a completely different approach, prioritizing functional, upright utility over low-slung sportiness. The Camry features a higher, natural hip point. You don't drop down into it, nor do you have to climb up. You walk up, open the door, turn your hips, and slide straight onto the seat cushion without straining your joints. The Camry's seating posture positions the driver higher relative to the dashboard, surrounded by an open glass canopy with thin roof pillars. When you are parallel parking in a tight downtown space or backing out of a crowded grocery store driveway at night, the physical outward visibility in the Camry makes maneuvering stress-free, allowing you to clearly spot pedestrians and objects without relying entirely on electronic backup cameras. Real-life usage: dashboard ergonomics, touchscreens, and daily controls. Inside the cabin, the daily usability debate shifts directly to how you interact with the dashboard controls while keeping your eyes on the road. Honda has outfitted the modern Accord with an exceptionally stylish, minimalist interior. It features a sleek mesh pattern stretching across the dashboard, hidden air vents, a digital gauge cluster, and a large high-resolution central touchscreen. It looks and feels like a luxury car, easily punching above its price tag. However, Honda's push toward clean interior design means that several secondary climate and vehicle management settings are integrated into touchscreen submenus. While digital graphics look sharp when parked in a showroom, trying to tap through software menus to adjust cabin airflow while navigating a chaotic 6-lane highway rainstorm can be frustrating and distracting. The Toyota Camry's interior looks much more conservative and traditional. Toyota deliberately avoids flashy interior styling trends, opting instead for heavy physical ergonomics. Underneath the central display screen sit massive, tactile climate control dials and large physical buttons for media, defrosting, and drive modes. You don't have to look down at a screen or wait for software to boot up to clear a foggy windshield. You reach out, grab the large physical dial by muscle memory, and twist it. Whether you are wearing winter gloves or driving in pitch-black darkness, the Camry's interior layout prioritizes simple physical operation over high-tech showmanship. Real-world driving dynamics, isolation versus engagement. When you take these two mid-size sedans out of suburban parking lots and merge onto the open highway, the engineering split between Honda and Toyota becomes even sharper. How a car accelerates, takes corners, and handles broken pavement dictates how relaxed or exhausted you feel at the end of a long workday. The Honda Accord is built for the driver who actually enjoys the physical act of driving. Honda engineers equipped the Accord with a sharp, communicative steering rack and a firm, sophisticated multi-link rear suspension setup. When you turn the steering wheel, the Accord responds instantly with crisp, athletic precision. On a winding back road or in highway entrance ramp, the car stays planted and flat through corners, giving you the confidence of a true sports sedan. However, that sport-tuned suspension comes with a real-world trade-off when you get onto bad road surfaces. The Accord's firm dampers translate road imperfections directly into the cabin. When you hit a sharp sewer lid, a sunken bridge expansion joint, or a deep city pothole, the shock travels straight up through the chassis and into your... It is a firm, European-style ride that keeps you connected to the road, whether you want to feel it or not. The Toyota Camry, on the other hand, approaches the road with a philosophy of complete isolation. Its electric power steering is heavily boosted and light, requiring almost zero wrist effort to spin the wheel during low-speed parking lot maneuvers or tight U-turns. It doesn't offer the razor-sharp handling feedback of the Accord, but it completely excels at soaking up road abuse. Toyota tuned the Camry's coil springs and dampers to be soft and forgiving. When you hit a patch of broken pavement or a nasty pothole that would jar your teeth in a sports car, the Camry's suspension absorbs the impact and dampens the movement before it reaches the steering wheel. On long, boring highway commutes, the Camry floats over highway dips and road cracks without drama. It trades cornering precision for pure physical comfort, making it an ideal stress relief capsule for rough urban street. Mechanical architectures: ECVT power split versus two-motor direct drive. Under the hood, modern iterations of both vehicles have leaned heavily into hybrid power, but the mechanical execution reveals two entirely different engineering philosophies. Toyota arms the Camry with its fifth-generation hybrid synergy drive system, paired with a naturally aspirated four-cylinder engine. The heart of Toyota's system is its famous ECVT planetary gear set. Notice the phrasing, planetary gear set. There are no traditional shifting gears, no high-friction steel drive belts, no hydraulic launch clutches, and no torque converters. The planetary gear set mechanically merges the torque from the gas engine and electric motors in real time. Because the system eliminates traditional high-wear moving parts, it is built with the bulletproof durability of a commercial taxicab. However, that planetary setup creates a distinct driving characteristic, the famous engine drone. When you stomp on the gas pedal to pass a truck on a steep highway incline, the computer forces the gas engine up to a steady, high RPM roar and holds it there until you ease off the accelerator. The Honda Accord Hybrid takes an entirely different approach using its two-motor series parallel hybrid system. For the vast majority of your daily city driving, the Accord's gas engine does not physically drive the wheels at all. Instead, the gas engine runs quietly under the hood, solely to power a generator motor, sending electricity straight to a high-output electric traction motor that turns the front wheels. It functions almost like a diesel-electric locomotive train. A physical clutch only locks the gas engine directly to the drive wheels at steady, high-speed highway cruising velocities, where direct drive is most efficient. Because the Accord operates primarily as a direct-drive electric vehicle in urban conditions, it delivers a quiet, linear, EV-like driving experience. When you press the gas pedal, acceleration is instant and smooth, with zero engine flare or rubber band slippage. The long-term trade-off sits inside the transaxle. Honda's reliance on a hydraulic direct-drive lockup clutch means that over hundreds of thousands of miles of heavy highway commuting, that internal clutch undergoes physical engagement wear, a mechanical wear item that Toyota's planetary gear setup avoids entirely. Long-term reliability, wear items, and repair liabilities. When you cross the 100,000-mile mark, a car stops being a shiny showroom flex and becomes a pure financial asset. This is where the initial purchase price fades away and your bank account feels the true cost of brake replacements, tire wear, routine maintenance, and resale value depreciation. Let's start with physical wear items, starting with the braking system. If you own a hybrid version of either the Camry or the Accord, the maintenance math changes drastically compared to traditional gas vehicles. Both cars use regenerative braking. When you step on the brake pedal, the physical brake pads don't immediately clamp down on the steel rotors. Instead, the electric motor runs in reverse, creating magnetic resistance to slow the vehicle down while sending kinetic energy back into the high-voltage battery. Because the electric motor handles almost all the heavy lifting during everyday stop-and-go driving, the physical brake pads sit virtually untouched until you come to a complete panic stop. It is completely common for both Toyota Camry Hybrid and Honda Accord Hybrid owners to reach 100,000 miles on their original factory-installed brake pads, erasing hundreds of dollars in routine brake service invoices over a decade of ownership. Where the Honda Accord can cost slightly more over time is in tire replacement cycles and engine maintenance on non-hybrid variants. The Accord's aggressive suspension tuning and sharp steering alignment give it incredible cornering performance. But if you forget to rotate your tires religiously every 5,000 miles, the inner shoulders of the front tires will wear down prematurely. Additionally, if you own an older, non-hybrid Accord equipped with the 1.5-liter turbocharged engine, you must adhere strictly to synthetic oil change schedules. High boost pressures and short winter trips can lead to fuel-to-oil dilution, and past 100,000 miles, the intense thermal pressure inside those small turbo engines can stretch head bolts, leading to premature head gasket failure. The Camry is far more forgiving of human error. Toyota's reliance on naturally aspirated engines and planetary hybrid transaxles means internal operating pressures and thermal loads stay low. There are no turbo wastegates to seize, no high-pressure intercooler hoses to crack, and no drive belts on the hybrid model to snap. It is a vehicle engineered to survive real-world owner neglect, making it one of the cheapest sedans on Earth to maintain past 6 figures on the odometer. When it comes time to sell, both the Camry and the Accord act like financial body armor. While domestic sedans and European luxury crossovers lose over half their value within the first 5 years, the Camry and Accord maintain an unshakable asset floor in the used car market. A 10-year-old Accord or Camry with over 100,000 miles will still command a massive cash premium on the used market because second- and third-hand buyers know these platforms are practically immortal. The definitive buyer's decision matrix. At the end of the day, this rivalry didn't survive for nearly 50 years because one car is bad and the other is good. It survived because Toyota and Honda build these sedans for two completely different types of drivers. Choose the Honda Accord if you genuinely care about the driving experience and want sharp, responsive steering with an athletic chassis. You prefer a sleek, low-slung, European-inspired cockpit that feels upscale and driver-focused. You want smooth, instant, EV-like acceleration around town without engine flare or transmission drone under light loads. Choose the Toyota Camry if you view a car strictly as a low-stress, reliable appliance designed to protect your personal capital. You want effortless lateral entry and exit with a natural seating height, high outward visibility, and simple physical dashboard controls. You want absolute long-term peace of mind, ultra-low maintenance invoices, and a bulletproof planetary hybrid system that will run for 20 years without drama. Which side of the 50-year sedan war are you standing on? Are you taking the sharp, engaging drive of the Honda Accord, or are you anchoring your savings to the unkillable Toyota Camry? Drop your mileage milestones, shop stories, and driveway debates down in the comments section below. Let's fight it out. Hit that subscribe button to keep your bank account safe from bad car purchases. Stay savvy, and I'll see you in the next one.